Part 2. Azure Moon. Harpstring Moon. The King's Triumphant Return. Following the death of Rodrigue, Dimitri begins to question his desire for revenge. His troubled mind turns to the kingdom capital and how he might end the chaos plaguing Fargus once and for all.
Our victory at Drondor was certainly a turning point for us. However, Rodrigue's death has been difficult to bear. We've lost considerable military strength and resources. If we split up the soldiers currently defending the monastery, we should have sufficient numbers to invade the Empire. But even then...
Your Highness, you should be resting. Your wounds are still healing. I am well, I assure you. More importantly, may I have a moment of your time? Thank you. I wish to apologize to all of you. I cannot tell you how sorry I am for my behavior. There is no apology I could offer that would be sufficient.
And how do you intend to make up for my father's death?
Felix, I realize words alone are not enough to repent, but I fear they are all I have.
I'm not after more empty words. I want you to speak through your actions.
I know that no amount of regret can ever bring back the lives we have lost. I know that well. It is like patching up a tear with a different material. Things can never be as they were. The best I can hope for is to make things whole again. I wish to do the right thing from now on. That is why I have made a decision. I intend to take back the kingdom capital. I wish to save our people. Those who I turned my back on for far too long. To follow my heart and do the right thing. That is the only way I can atone for my sins.
Your Highness. If we can win back Ferdiad, it will give us the advantage in our war against the Empire. As one who has served the royal family for ages, know that your words bring me great joy and pride. That said, I must point out that if we make for Ferdiad, the Emperor's head will slip further out of reach. Can you live with that?
I still hold hatred in my heart for her, and for the ones responsible for the tragedy. That I will carry with me until death. But my life is my own. It belongs to no one else, and it is high time that I started living for what I believe in. I will no longer allow the voices of the dead to bind me. This is something that I must do. No. Something that I am choosing to do. I will accomplish my aim, even if it means risking my life to do so.
Understood, Your Highness. So, any objections?
You are correct. We cannot afford to die in vain by recklessly challenging the Empire.
I'm worried about Lady Rhea. But if this is the choice you've made, I support it.
I am at your command, Your Highness. I will follow you anywhere.
My sword is at your service, Your Highness.
I'll help too. The people in Ferdiad need us.
Fine. I'll help you, in my father's stead. But in return, you must win. You know that, don't you, Dimitri?
I do. And I swear on my father's lands that we will prevail.
Then it is decided. It seems this war council has much to discuss. Our next stop is Ferdiad, the kingdom capital, for the future of Fargus. Even this town, which was a ruin, has begun to recover its energy. However, acquiring supplies is still difficult. The people living here are struggling too. This conflict must be brought to an end soon. I agree. We must seize victory with our own hands. Still, I wonder what path my life should follow once we achieve our goals. That has been my intent, but surely my daughter Annette must have her own path to follow. Perhaps she would be happier if our paths diverged. Of course, if she desires it, I will gladly return. But if she does not... I wonder if I should ask my wife to join me here. To live out our days together at the monastery. That would not be so bad a choice either. Perhaps it is the fault of last night's drink that I am indulging in such dreams of the future today. Yes, I've learned there is strength in focusing clearly on tomorrow and allowing yesterday to be done.
Hey! It's the old fishing guy! Hi there!
A short time ago, I instructed these children in the art of fishing.
Thanks to you, we caught a really, really big fish in the river nearby.
Is that right? Be sure you share it with your families now.
We will!
I did say something about that once, didn't I? I even told you to forget you ever saw me smile. But now, I would not ask that of you. Your words from when last we spoke have stayed with me. They bring to mind the king I first served. He told me not to dwell upon the dead. The dead are dead, and those who live are not bound by them. I intend to live my own life from now on. You have a fine smile as well. One that I could never have imagined when we first met. No matter how our titles or positions change, I hope you will always remain yourself, Professor.
Your Highness, you still have scars on your back. It does you no good to languish in pain. I will procure some medicine.
No, it is fine. Well, they are still deep. These are from 9 years ago. They do not hurt any longer. Besides, it would be a shame if the scars I got from protecting you were to fade. I bear these scars proudly. It makes me think that it was worthwhile that someone like me survived.
To hear you say such things.
Dedue, you say that I saved you. But do you know that you also saved me that day? If I had been unable to save anyone, I would have been the sole survivor. I would have had no reason to keep living. But I saved someone. Saved you. That and that alone has always been my crutch.
When I stood before those soldiers and their swords that day, I was prepared to die. But then, you suddenly appeared, and I knew then that a savior's hand could reach into even the deepest darkness. I still have not been able to repay that debt.
Have you not heard a word I've said? You have saved me in countless ways. 5 years ago, I did nothing but await my execution within my jail cell. Was it not you that saved me?
That was nothing more than my duty as your vassal.
Listen, Dedue, perhaps you consider me to be someone special. But I think the same of you. You are irreplaceable, cherished. So stop saying that we cannot be friends. Stop saying such awful things.
Please, do not look at me that way. You promised me you would build a kingdom that is proud to boast of Duscar blood. In this kingdom, where there is no distinction between the people of Duscar and the people of Fodlan, will I finally, without reservation, be able to call you my friend? Will I, Dimitri?
Dedue. Yes, you will call me your friend again and again, no matter how many hardships I must endure.
I will do all I can to bring about that world as well. To be your friend is what I have always wanted.
Is that so? I am glad to hear it.
But until that time, we must allow no harm to befall you. So please call upon me when you walk alone at night. And even when you go out in the day, please tell me where you are going and whom you are meeting.
In the end, I suppose there is no fixing your overprotectiveness, is there? I suppose I can live with that.
You don't look busy. Join me for some training, Boar Prince.
And here I thought you had no desire to speak with me.
We don't need to speak to clash swords, do we?
I suppose not. Is that one new? Wait. Where did you get such a blade?
I suppose you would recognize its value. I came upon a merchant selling weapons and found this among the rest of the steel.
That pattern around the edge. There's no doubt. It was forged by Zoltan, the master swordsmith.
I'm not giving it to you.
Huh? Oh, I'm just happy to have laid eyes on it. I don't suppose you'd allow me the chance to hold it.
Do you take me for a fool? I'm not letting a brute like you swing it around.
As though I would be careless with something so valuable.
I recall when you were 9 years old, you swung a sword so hard you snapped it clean in two.
Come now, that was so long ago. I'm hardly the fool I was then.
So you say. Yet Hausfrau Darius still told that story for years.
What's wrong, Felix?
How pointless. No use talking about someone who's long dead. Looking at your face is making me angry. I'm going to find a different training partner. Farewell, your beastliness.
What is going on with him? You've been spending a lot of time at the training ground, Mercedes. As far as swordsmanship goes, you're like a whole new person.
Thank you. I have such a great time when you teach me that improving comes naturally.
It's all because of your own hard work. Compared to you,
You shouldn't be so disappointed in yourself. You're improving too. You just need to keep at it.
Well, I can hold a needle and thread without breaking anything now. That's something.
That's a big step. When we started, you couldn't even hold a pair of scissors without twisting them apart.
True. I'm sorry for being such a burden.
You're no bother at all. I like sewing with you. It reminds me of when I was young and my mother taught me how to sew. My mother would sit with my brother and me, and we'd all sew together. I really miss it, even though I was barely better than you when I started. Did your mother like to sew, Dimitri?
My birth mother? From my father's accounts, she wasn't great at it either.
Oh, of course. I forgot that the Queen of Fargus passed away long ago.
Yes. I don't really remember what she was like. But I remember my stepmother, always sitting by the window sewing away.
I'm sure she would have been happy to teach you if you had asked.
She always looked so lonely when she was sewing, so unreachable. She was kind to me, yes, but when she was like that, it was hard to talk to her. I'm not certain she would have wished to teach me.
I'm so sorry, Dimitri. I didn't mean to bring up such difficult memories.
Don't worry about it. If I don't talk about those things sometimes, I'll risk forgetting them altogether. And that...
I see.
But now I'm just going on and on about myself. Why don't you tell me more about you?
More about me? Oh, goodness. I don't even know what to say.
It's hard to think of something on the spot, isn't it? You could speak of your family, I suppose.
You want to know more about my family? On that topic, I'm happy to oblige. In fact, I'm so glad you asked. It's important to think about your past and share it every now and then. This might take a while, but would you be willing to stay and listen?
Of course. I will listen for as long as you wish.
Your Highness, I have a little favor to ask of you.
Of course. How may I be of assistance?
Well, I was hoping you could tell me about my father. I imagine he was a very different man at home than he was at work.
Ah, so you wish to hear about the Gustav that I knew. As you know, he was a knight who served the royal family since my grandfather's reign. To me, he was a teacher of martial arts and tactics. He was someone I depended on since I was a small child. But he was also a very stern and strict instructor.
That doesn't surprise me. he was much the same at home. He'd chide us if we made mistakes, whether it was with cooking or even how we spoke. I feel like we can talk like this because of our time at the academy. But if he saw me speaking so casually to you, oh my goodness, he would probably faint.
Is that so? Funny. I suppose in front of his family he felt the need to demonstrate proper etiquette.
Wait, are you saying that's not how he was around you?
Even all these years later, there's something I recall with perfect clarity. It happened before the break of dawn. He woke me suddenly. Said he'd heard a disturbance and had me grab my bow. Then he sent me and a fellow pupil loose on a dark mountain. Our only directive was to go catch a deer. As you well know, autumn in the capital is very cold. Now, imagine being up on the mountain at night with no... That, in a nutshell, is the Gustav I knew.
I can hardly imagine that. He was completely different with me.
I recall one other defining detail. He used to speak of you at every possible opportunity.
Really? What would he say about me?
Are you sure you want to know? There's one story he used to tell from when you were very small.
No, stop! It's probably too embarrassing to bear. Is it?
Perhaps.
Look, I'll promise to forget the stories he told me about you if you return the favor. Deal?
Yes, that seems the only thing to do. It's a promise. Finally, you score a point against me on the ground. You have improved, Ingrid.
That was nothing more than a fluke. My technique was horribly sloppy that last round.
It does not matter what sort of technique it was. You won. If this had been a real battle, I would be dead. You wielded your lance well, without any hesitation. Has your approach changed?
You may recall when I said I'm now able to move on, because of you.
I remember. What did you mean by it?
That I finally understand the truth about Glenn. It sounds as though he died with a heavy heart. A heart that carried regret. I had suspected as much. But instead of acknowledging it, I twisted my memory of him to fit an ideal I've been upholding.
I see.
Your Highness, I will not sacrifice my life for anyone. But perhaps instead, I can live my life for someone. I will pledge my life to you.
And how exactly am I meant to interpret that?
However you please, Your Highness.
Oh? Well then. Ingrid, when this is all over, I want you to... to support and defend me, as my knight. I have been thinking of telling you this for a long time. We get along well, you and I.
As your knight? Yes, of course. Of course I will. I intended to do so for the sake of the kingdom. Together, Your Highness. You and I. Our first order of business. Putting this tragic war to an end.
Yes. And while we're at it... do not die on me, Ingrid. Promise me that.
Yes, Your Highness. I swear it on my lance.
Dimitri. Raphael, what's the matter? You look awfully pale. I think I'm gonna die. What in the world happened? My whole body. It's stinging and aching. I've never felt anything like it. I feel weak all over. I don't have the energy to do anything. This has never happened to me before. Well, what are you waiting for? Get yourself to the infirmary. If you can't walk, I'll carry you there. This could be very serious. Thing is, I already tried going there, but I didn't see Manuela or the monks. Dimitri, listen. If anything happens to me, I need you to take care of my little sis. Steady yourself, Raphael. Protecting your sister is a task that will fall to you. Is that not why you wish to become a knight? At this rate, I won't even be able to fight alongside everyone else. I'm gonna be completely useless. Of course this happens after I spend all night training. Wait, you were training all night? Raphael, tell me exactly what sort of training you did last night? Well, first I ran all across the mountains while carrying a gigantic boulder. Then I found a big log and lifted it a few hundred times. After that, I ran 50 laps around Garreg Mach wearing heavy armor. Then I tied a rope to a barrel full of rocks and swung it around for a while. Right. I believe I get the picture. And is this something you've been doing every night recently? I train every day, but yesterday, I decided to try out some new techniques. I took the ideas you gave me and used them to come up with a whole new regimen. I see. Raphael, listen to me very carefully. Your ailment is ordinary muscle pain. Muscle pain? I don't understand. After a training session like that, even my muscles would probably be aching. Didn't I tell you not to push yourself too hard? Wait. If this is muscle pain, does that mean I hurt my muscles? Well, you caused them to hurt, sure, but that doesn't mean... I can't believe I was so mean to my muscles. I need to make it up to them. I gotta go eat some food so my muscles can get the nutrition they need. And I can't waste any more time talking about it. Hold on, what happened to your muscle pain? And if you eat too much, you'll give yourself a stomachache. Uh-oh, he's headed straight for the stairs. I thought he could hardly walk with his muscles in that state. Ah! My muscle! Let this be a lesson to you, Raphael. There are times when even your muscles can betray you.
Spared again.
So it would seem. I told you that you were extraordinarily lucky.
Sometimes I think that must be true. But why me? Is this the goddess's way of telling me to make something of myself? There are so many others who are much more deserving of life.
I often think the same of myself, especially after battles where many lives were lost. But I must go on living. I cannot give in to death so readily. It is my duty to atone for my sins and to pay for the lives I've taken. I suppose that must be why the goddess allows me to live on.
Is there a reason she allows me to live?
Only you can know that. But I believe there is a reason. Marianne, life is difficult.
It is a burden. It feels terrible to continue standing when so many others had to fall.
If that is so, then carry on as you are. There is no need for you to force yourself to smile as your soul bleeds. But please, whatever you do, do not give up on yourself or your precious life.
What do you mean?
If you were to die, I would be devastated.
You never have been easy to read.
Is that so?
Everyone says that I need to cheer up. But you may be the first person to tell me not to. Your life must also be difficult for you to understand my position.
So it is. I often feel I am not strong enough to live it.
I think our difficulties have brought us closer together.
Do you?
Absolutely. Please, Dimitri, promise you'll live through this war and long after. I don't know what I'd do with myself if we lost you.
As long as you are carrying on, I have yet another reason to carry on myself. I promise to the goddess of Fodlan that I will never give you cause to despair. Oh, are you on cooking duty today, Flame? That's unusual.
Indeed I am. I have been working away on this meal for hours now. The only thing is, each time it is my turn to tend to the meals, those in the dining hall seem to miraculously become very busy and evacuate the premises. I make the food, but nobody is ever here to eat it. I do not understand what the issue is. Even my brother seems to evaporate every time I am in the kitchen. It is quite peculiar.
Well, you're in luck. I've just finished training and am positively ravenous. If you don't mind, I'd love to sample your cooking.
Really? I mean... Yes, please, have some. It is not perfect, but I am certain it will taste quite nice all the same.
I'm sure it will be great. Thank you, Flame. There were a few suspiciously crunchy bits here and there, but other than that, it was fine.
You liked it? Wow! Nobody has ever liked anything I've cooked! If I cannot get anyone else to eat this meal, though, it is going to spoil and go to waste. It is no secret to me that I am not very good at cooking.
Say, Flame, may I have a second helping?
You actually want more?
Of course. I wouldn't want it to go to waste after all the effort you put in. This kind of mishap can happen to anyone, you know? Don't let it get you down. Besides, I can tell you put a lot of love and dedication into preparing this food for everyone. That alone makes it taste good.
There is no need for false flattery. The few times I have asked my brother whether or not he enjoyed my cooking, he could not even give me a straight answer. My own brother!
I speak nothing short of the truth, always. It was delicious, and I look forward to eating it again sometime. I'll agree there's no need to make enough for everyone, though. If you like, you could just cook enough for me.
Perhaps. I hope you enjoy the rest of the meal.
Gustav. It has been 8 years since I last called you by that name.
Your Highness, I must deeply apologize for leaving the kingdom without permission.
There is no need to explain, old friend. I can guess at your reasons. The tragedy of Duscur. You felt responsible for that incident and sought respite in the goddess, abandoning your name, rank, and homeland in repentance. Am I right?
I have no excuses to offer. It was all I could think to do.
I always knew you for a pious man, and I figured that if you were to leave, this is where you would end up. You have changed much. Your face does not have the same resolve it once did.
If I may, Your Highness, you have changed as well.
I can't disagree.
It was my duty to protect His Majesty, your father. Naturally, that also included Lady Patricia and yourself as well.
My father and mother are gone. No amount of regret will bring them back.
My dreams are haunted by the thought that, had I arrived at Duscur more swiftly...
You saved my life at Duscur. I have only gratitude for you, no blame to speak of. I wish for you to remain in the kingdom, Gustav, even after this conflict is over. I need your strength to help rebuild the ravaged land that Faerghus has become.
Please, I beg your forgiveness, but there is no place left for me in that land.
I see. Though much has changed, your stubbornness remains. I have no desire to trouble you. If you do not wish to return, that is your choice to make. But I do advise you to at least visit the place of your birth, if only for your family's sake.
Yes, Your Highness. Thank you. I appreciate your concern.
Another day, another training session, I see. You're quite dedicated. And practicing with the sword today. You weren't any good with it when you were little, as I recall.
And who told you that?
Lord Rodrigue mentioned it to me. He said you used to swing your sword so hard that you'd break it.
That was ages ago. I've had plenty of time to improve since then. Now I count swordplay as one of my specialties. Care to see for yourself?
Well, I can't just take your word for it, can I? Let's see what you've got. Well, I'm impressed. You're better than I expected.
I could say the same of you. I suppose we students still have much to learn.
No need for false modesty. We fought as equals just now. You're strong, and your form is excellent. You're clearly an experienced fighter. But you're greedy. You can't be so impatient to win. It'll come at a grave cost.
Greedy? I see. I'll take that note to heart. You have my thanks for the instruction.
Ah, it returns. The formality, the stiffness. Anyway, after we're through here, I might head into town for some food. Care to join me?
I appreciate the invitation, but I have certain duties I must attend to this evening.
Of course you do. Never mind about my plans, then.
I thought you'd say that. You have the same sense of responsibility as I do.
You think so? I didn't want to push you to join me. We can just do it another day. I'll confess, I'm taking a shine to you. I'd like to talk to you more.
I would like that as well. Ever since I saw you wielding a sword all those years ago, I've been following in your footsteps. To be able to stand with you and cross swords is quite a...
Hey, slow down. Where did all this come from? You're embarrassing me. That's enough chatter for now anyway. Let's get back to sparring. This time with lances. I won't hold back. Show me what you can do.
Right. Prepare yourself!
Sedith, do you have a moment?
Certainly. Have you arrived at a decision about what you would like your future to be?
I think so. I was hoping I might ask for your opinion on the subject.
I am flattered. Please proceed.
I want to serve as a knight and protect my homeland. I know this through and through. It has been my truth for as long as I can remember. However, I feel I should choose a path that would benefit my father. I was raised by him in a happy home, never wanting for anything, despite my family's meager finances. I owe it to him to choose a path he'd approve of.
If that is the decision you have reached after such careful deliberation, then I have no objections. But may I ask you something?
Please, go ahead.
Have you actually had a conversation with your father about this?
I have not. There hasn't been time to pay him a visit. He did permit me to join this war. But I was brash about my departure. I left forcibly.
In that case, it is all the more important that you speak to him.
Perhaps. My father is an obstinate man. At this point, I'm not sure he'd care to hear what I have to say.
I do not know the man well, so perhaps it is not my place to judge. However, I do know what it's like to fret constantly over one's family. If he is as doting a father as you say, then he will want to know how you truly feel. I do not think he will refuse your wishes if you share them with him honestly. Of course, if your decision remains the same after speaking with him, then so be it.
Sedith, thank you. You're right. I should talk to him. I've spent so much time thinking about how stubborn he is, that I've neglected to acknowledge my own part in all this. Rather than blaming him, I need to recognize how stubborn I myself have been. Maybe if I open up and allow for vulnerability, he will too.
That is the way. Hold your head up high and stride forward into the unknown.
I will. And I will keep your words close to my heart. Thank you for everything, Sedith.
Oh, it's Sedith. I'd better slip away before he...
Ah, I see you are indulging in a bit of reading. You are fond of books, I take it?
Yes, reading's one of my favorite pastimes. I was just finishing up, actually, so I think I'll...
That is most fortuitous.
Fortuitous? How do you figure?
Come with me. I have a story to share with you. Once upon a time, deep in the cold mountains, there lived a lazy fox and an industrious squirrel. The squirrel worked tirelessly all day long, while the fox did nothing but lounge around and play. When autumn came, the squirrel hurriedly gathered up acorns for the winter, but the fox continued to play without a care. A biting winter fell upon the land. The mountains, caked in snow, concealed all nourishment from sight. The hungry fox went to the squirrel's dwelling, but the squirrel had locked up tight and gone to sleep. Every so often, the squirrel would wake, enjoy a nibble of an acorn, and then return to an easy slumber. The fox, on the other hand, with nowhere else to turn, was forced to scrounge for food in the bitter cold of the forest. Forlorn and hungry, he wandered in solitude all through the winter, until spring came once more. And so it is to this very day that foxes are denied the comforts of hibernation.
Ah, I really learned something about foxes. I read lots of fairy tales like that when I was little. But the lazy fox and the industrious squirrel, huh? That one I don't think I've heard before.
That is not surprising, considering I wrote it.
Oh, you wrote it?
I did. When Flame was young, She loved fairy tales more than anything. I would read them to her often. This one, however, is a more recent creation. I wrote it for the benefit of the children in the monastery. So?
It's so cute!
So, what do you think? I'm curious to hear what sort of impression it made on you.
It's so cute!
You found it to be cute?
I can just see it now. You writing fairy tales for your little sister. That's just the cutest thing! Honestly, to me, you usually come across as stern and overly perceptive. But now I know you have a sweet side, too. I feel like I'm seeing you in a whole new light.
That is not what I was hoping to hear.
That's right. Can you believe it, Professor? Dimitri actually apologized to me. Remember that awful business between him and my Uncle Randolph? He just came by and said he was sorry for all that. That was behind us as far as I was concerned, but even so, it seems like he's changed for the better.
Taking back the land of home has the most importance. That is why I am fighting. All for my land of home. Actually, there is more. I am also fighting for you. And for everyone here.
Edelgard, Claude, His Highness, all the house leaders from way back when, assembled again at Gronder. I wonder what their thoughts were as they headed out to the battlefield.
I am very grateful to you. I could never have achieved this on my own. It is all thanks to you and Lord Rodrigue. This month, we will invade Ferdiad by way of the Fraldarius domain. Leave the negotiations with House Fraldarius to me. You make ready for the actual battle. It's a tricky business, but we are taking our first steps forward. I have a request.
The Emperor was wounded at Gronder Field. What do you think is going on in the Empire now? The Leicester Alliance has really suffered a blow as well. Who knows what will become of them? From now on, we have to pay close attention to how the rest of Fodlan is doing.
It seems we will soon set foot in Ferdiad. I used to live there, you know, though that was before my time in the Officers' Academy. No, of course not. There is a school of magic there, which I was enrolled in for a time. Trouble within the kingdom forced me to return to Alliance lands. There was much I had yet to learn.
The battle at Gronder Field was gruesome, wasn't it? But perhaps it's irresponsible to look away, to close our eyes to the horrors of war. As survivors, we must ensure that all these lives were not lost in vain. We must see the tragic foundations upon which we'll build our future. May an age of peace rise from the ashes, so that all this sacrifice means something.
What?
There are stories of heroes' relics 1,000 years ago, of which we have no real evidence today. So many, in fact, that I'm led to wonder if those relics are nothing more than legends. Especially since we know of relics like those passed down in the families of the 10 Fodlan elites.
What of this? There's a school of sorcery in Ferdiad, which is staffed by the top minds of magical research. The study of crests and sorcery should not be separate. I've often thought I should pay them a visit someday. I never imagined I might end up invading the place with an army, though. Not how I imagined it at all.
Fighting with 3 different groups in the mix was as confusing as it was difficult to survive. Enemies and allies dying, one on top of the other. What an absolute mess, huh? If only I had my infirmary out in Gronder, maybe I could have saved a few more lives.
If we're headed to the kingdom capital, that means we're further away from rescuing Lady Rhea. But it can't be helped, can it? Perhaps some people will question this decision, but I trust your judgment. Lady Rhea would want us to help in Ferdiad. She'd scold us if we rescued her and left innocent people suffering.
It seems we are headed for the kingdom capital this month. The Church of Seiros stands ready to lend its aid to you and Dimitri. It may be a roundabout route, but I believe this path will still eventually take us to Rhea. Besides, saving the people of Fargus is just what she would want us to do.
I never used to care whether I lived or died. But after seeing so much death firsthand, I now realize how precious life truly is. I'm ashamed of how arrogant I was to think that death could mean so little.
He'll need to excel as a leader if he's to make up for my old man's death. Though if my father could see Dimitri now, he'd be glad to have made the sacrifice. Don't you dare tell anyone I said that.
Singing's okay, but I should really have a cute dance to go along with it.
I've never sung a song before, so I don't know if I'm good or bad at it.
Oh,
standing face to face with those whom I went to school with. How inhuman war is. How horrifying. My heart feels shattered. It is my hope that this war marks the end of such foolish behavior.
That's right. Yes.
So many people died in the battle at Gronder. And here we are, preparing for the next battle as if nothing happened the day before. It's almost easier to think about war as theater, with the stage an entire continent. Something like that. If an accident happens on stage, the next day's performance must be unaffected. Everyone just pretends like everything is fine, focusing on their role in the play.
Yes.
Okay.
Well...
Anyway, I was born and raised in Fargus, but I've never actually been to Ferdiad. Do you think it'll still be cold at this time of year? I can't even imagine. Good point. I'll check with His Highness.
Sleep evades me, so I thought I'd get in some extra training. I was just about to finish. Perhaps it is the gloomy weather, but I am feeling the sting of wounds that should have healed long ago. The injury I got when that girl stabbed me after the battle at Gronder. Her eyes were filled with revenge, just as mine once were. I don't know, but I have a guess. Ah, I suppose I haven't told you about that yet. I was attacked inside the monastery the other day. It caused quite the uproar. The ones who attacked me were some of the youths we taught swordsmanship to once upon a time. It seems they were raised by a group of thieves we put down 5 years ago. I heard Lady Rhea took custody of them, claiming that the children were innocent. I have taken so many lives, and with each one, I face hatred. During the last 5 years especially, my life was not so different from that of a wild beast. And that young girl's brother. At some point, I must have... That is why I thought it only natural that someone would retaliate someday. Because I hated. Because I stole and... Because I... But with those children, it's different. We drew our blades with the best of intentions, only to hurt them in the end. I suppose this is yet another thing we will just have to live with. Yes. As one who chose to fight, it is my responsibility to confront this anguish and the true nature of war. until the day my life comes to an end. Thank you. You know, Professor, there is something that I only recently realized. I never knew it could be so comforting to have someone standing by my side.
We buried Lord Rodrigue's body ourselves. There wasn't time to do things properly. It pains me that I was unable to take him home to his territory. Once this war is over, I'd like to hold a proper funeral for him. For now, we need to focus on taking back Ferdiad. All will be well eventually. I know we can win.
I can still hardly believe we managed to win against numbers like that. Oh, unless the real me is lying dead in Gronder and this is all just...
No.
Hey,
I don't feel like I can just forget all the awful stuff he's done.
But if His Highness is owning up to his past and trying to move forward, I figure I can give him that chance. We've been friends since we were kids. I'm gonna be there for him all the way to the end.
Professor, I really caused trouble for you, didn't I? I am so sorry, truly. I am also eternally grateful to you. Now, it's time to go to the Kingdom Capital. I hope that you will lend me your strength once again. Thank you. Please, allow me to take you up on your kind offer for company. Thank you. How warm and comforting. So it is. I think not. So it is. Indeed. Is that right? No. Thank you for the treat. I had a wonderful time. I would love to do this again, if that is acceptable to you.
How is this? Everyone is saying His Highness is back to his old self, but I do not think that is accurate. What he was until recently is what he had been for as long as I've known him. So tortured by his compassion for the fallen that it had driven him mad. He has always been too kind to be king. He has always felt too much for the weak and the dead. That is exactly why I look up to him.
True. Dimitri's completely changed. Or maybe I should say he's finally back to normal. Either way, I'm glad he's come around to the idea of retaking Ferdiad. With our current troops, there's no way we could handle the Imperial capital. We wouldn't even get past Fort Mercius.
How is this? Maybe.
Definitely. After that great battle earlier, the balance of power in Fodlan has shifted greatly. To get revenge for all our fallen friends, we'll have to stake our lives on the fight that lies before us.
Pardon me.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Guess what I noticed? I can see further than most other people can see. but I can't figure the point of seeing further than an arrow can fly, since I can't shoot what I see. I suppose I could see a whole horde of enemies coming and run away. That's kinda useful at least. Thanks, Professor. I think I get it now. I'm gonna put my eyes to real good use.
Verdiad, huh? I've always wanted to go there. But I'd rather be visiting for fun and during a warmer season. And going into battle? Not exactly an appealing prospect. Hey, I'm just teasing. I'll do what I can to help. I'm just so relieved that Dimitri is his old self again.
Professor?
This may seem a bit sudden, but I want to thank you, Professor. That is, for letting me live my life the way I want. I've noticed you've been giving me fewer of those soul-revealing gazes lately. I appreciate you making an effort to not trouble yourself over who I spend my time with. Well, of course. Did you think I wouldn't notice? It's kind of sweet in its own way. Professor, may I tell you a story about when I was younger? I was an orphan, living in the back alleys of Enbar, until one day I was overheard singing. That was when my new life began. I was suddenly a songstress in the Middle Franc Opera Company. Performers, nobility. I met so many people. But none of them ever really knew me. I was just some young, pretty girl who could sing. A spectacle to be admired. Even though everyone praised my looks and my voice, and they showered me with gifts, I knew one day I'd be old. My looks would fade, my voice would change. I wouldn't sound the same. And I started to wonder, when I did get old, what would I have left? I'd be old, alone, and back on the streets of the capital, right where I'd started. You can never be certain about what the future will bring. I never had much to begin with in life, and I worry that one day I'll be that way again. That's why I keep searching for someone who will love me. Someone unaware of the songstress, who can love a girl that used to be scared and alone on the streets of the capital. I wonder if such a strange person can even exist. Hi, Cyril. Starting to clean, huh?
Hilda?
Personally, I'm all worn out from carrying water and fodder for the horses. I'm going to rest here a sec.
Whoa, tired? Water? Horses? Are you saying you did work all by yourself?
What else was I supposed to do? You weren't here to help.
Okay, I get it. You did the work because you couldn't find nobody else to do it for you.
I was waiting for you, because look.
A letter?
I told you I'm always getting letters from my brother. I wrote about you in a couple of mine.
You're talking about me behind my back? Honestly, you're so...
We didn't say anything bad. In fact, well, listen up. Here's what my brother wrote. Be he Almiran or no, any young man with compassion and good conduct is worthy of respect. Character is what really matters, not the place of one's birth.
Huh, that's pretty nice. Especially since it was from a noble who battles Almirans.
Right? He's a funny one, but for the first time, I really respect him. So thoughtful and tolerant.
That letter makes me happy. A lot of people look down on me just 'cause I'm Almiran. So, you know, it's nice to hear somebody accept me as just another person.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean? I've accepted you from the start. I mean, you're so helpful. You do everything I ask.
That's not acceptance. That's relying on somebody else to do your work. What you ought to do is be a grown-up who your brother doesn't need to worry about so much.
I'm plenty grown up. I just brought food and water for the horses, all on my own.
Being proud of doing what you're supposed to be doing just means you're lazy the rest of the time. Though, I gotta admit, being relied on is kinda nice.
In that case, from now on, I'll rely on you even more. Let's see. First, I need you to...
Well, time to get back to work.
Hey, hold up!
Say, I've come to deliver vegetables we harvested in the village to the monastery's dining hall. Because of the season, I couldn't really pick that much. But I wanted to help you guys out. We're busily planting seeds, so when things start to grow, I'll be back.
So we're turning around and heading for the kingdom capital? Ridiculous. Tell him to cease this nonsense. Isn't there a saying in Vogtland? Something about those with power knowing how to use it? If he's not careful, the goddess will send her saints to smite him. Not that I believe that.
Up until a few decades ago, Ferdiad was a disorderly city.
Even the water supply was poorly constructed. As such, it was a hotbed of sickness and disease. The late king hired a researcher named Cornelia, who advised that he give top priority to improving the city's infrastructure. In the space of just a few years, the city was transformed into a place of beauty and order. At the same time, the diseases that had plagued our land loosened their grip, one after another. It was miraculous. Until a few... As such, the late king hired a researcher. In the space of just a few years, the city was transformed. At the same time, the diseases that had plagued our land loosened their grip, one after another.
That reminds me. I agree that we should head for Ferdiad, but let's not forget our search for Lady Rhea. The soldiers from the church are going to set up a base at the Great Bridge of Myrden. They'll be able to keep up the search while we head for the kingdom capital.
The kingdom capital. It's been way too long since I was there last. Oh, Professor, I didn't mean... it's not that I'm looking forward to it or anything. Please don't tease me like that. It's just, when I think of us finally saving everyone in Ferdiad, it makes me a little happy. Okay, maybe a lot happy. The kingdom capital is under the tight control of Cornelia, who was ennobled by the Empire. Judging by what we heard from Lord Rodrigue, it sounds like she's a tyrant. But all of that ends soon. Let's get there quickly.
Dimitri hated the Empire with a fiery passion. At Gronder, driven by fury, he sent many good knights to their doom. Now he appears to be freed from that hatred. If he can make thoughtful decisions, unswayed by his emotions, he may make a fine king someday. No, they are not. A king must strive to be a king first, and a human second.
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Ferdiad is a city with a long history that goes back to before Fargus gained its independence. I'd like to visit that place at least once before I die. But I'm afraid I have my own work to attend to. It's hard being so dedicated. Ah, well. I'll go there for some leisurely sightseeing once Fodlan knows peace.
Professor?
If you manage to take back Ferdiad, it'll make it a bit easier for us to do business. Taxes in the Fargus dukedom are ridiculously high. Makes it hard to even think about trading. That Cornelia woman, what does she use that ample tax money for anyway? From the Empire's perspective, I suppose it makes sense to squeeze the former kingdom territories for all they're worth. But if they throw those territories into total ruin, doesn't that defeat the purpose of conquering them?
Hey, welcome. Come again.
Hello there. This one, yes? I thank you. This one, yes? I thank you. Return soon, please. Hello!
Tell your friends!
Welcome! Come back soon!
Welcome.
This one?
Thank you. This one? Thank you. Please come again.
Hello.
Unbelievable.
Maybe. I'm relieved the prince seems to have finally come to his senses. Though it's a real shame that Lord Rodrigue passed away. It really is. But now, I think we're starting to see a sliver of hope for the future of Fodlan.
It's always so peaceful coming back here. But it's hard to relax knowing we have to go out on another expedition again so soon. And now we're headed to the kingdom? That sounds hard. Oh, really hard, don't you think? I knew you'd think so! I knew you... Ow! Oh, ow. Can't believe I tried to hug you through the door.
The fish in this pond get fed every day, so they're swimming all lazy and serene. But the only reason they're kept here is so that they can one day be used for food. But the fish don't know that, so they just swim around happily. It's a bit of a miserable thought. But aren't soldiers much the same?
You know when you work your muscles and they start screaming? That means you gotta be nice to them. If your muscles are hungry, you gotta feed them. And let them rest when they're tired. Of course! If my muscles hurt, then I hurt. If they're hungry, well then I'm hungry too. What's with the confused face, Professor? You look like you don't get a word I'm saying.
This looks delicious. Let's eat.
It's kinda nice to break bread with you. Got any interesting stories to tell while we eat?
This dish. It was my father's favorite.
I realized it after I got to the monastery. Nobody in Fargus knows how to cook.
Looks good. I will eat well and restore my strength.
I know. Let's have tea together after our meal.
Let us eat.
I think it's wonderful to be able to eat a nice meal every day.
Hello, Marianne. Won't you at least tell me why you're avoiding me? It hurts. It really does.
I'm not avoiding you. I'm just not very good at talking to people in general.
I told you I'm on your side, and I meant it. I'm guessing you don't much like talking about crests. Call it a hunch.
Well,
I'm the same way, you know. The value of my life has always been dictated by the damn thing. It's not fair to have your worth determined by something you can't control. Growing up in House Gautier taught me that the hard way.
What do you believe determines a person's value?
I like to think it's a person's smile.
Huh? Their smile?
A smile. It tells you who someone is. Are they fake or sincere? It also makes you feel stronger when you smile. My smile helps me focus and set free all of that power I never asked for.
I wonder.
Try it out, Marianne. Be strong-willed and put everything you've got into your smile.
Smile. Be strong-willed.
Yeesh, that's a terrific first try. If a bit stiff, lift the corners of your lips just a bit. Oh, I know. Try saying cheese.
Cheese?
Hey, that was good. It might feel a bit unnatural, but you'll get used to it soon enough.
you sure this will make me stronger?
Guaranteed. It's a great smile, you know? Let's go to town and show it off. If you lift your eyes from the ground, you'll see that the world has all sorts of amazing things to offer. The more you realize that, the more you'll smile.
I'll think about it.
Please, don't let me pressure you. If you don't want to go, I understand.
It's not that I don't like going into town. I'm just eager to get back to my room. I want to go practice my smile. If I keep practicing, maybe someday I'll be ready to go into town with you.
Oh yeah? That sounds great. I can't wait to see your best smile.
Professor! Anyway, I was born and raised...
I'm getting the hang of this.
I was born and raised... Is that so?
I think this month we will invade Ferdiad. Leave the nego... Is it tricky?
Right, right. There's something else. It seems we will soon set foot... It seems we will soon set foot in Ferdiad. Thank you.
I am here for the invitation. Oh my, would you look at this color? These are some choice tea leaves.
Thank you. Settles nicely on the palate. Indeed. Indeed. I think not. Indeed. You are quite an intriguing person. I would be lying if I said I did not find you fascinating. Indeed. This was wonderful. Next time, I will provide the tea. Farewell. It seems we will... Thank you. I am here for the invitation. Thank you. This flavor is exquisite. Indeed.
Splendid! Oh? Splendid! Oh? I think not. This was wonderful. Next time, I will provide the tea. Farewell.